Up to 9 million people face a bleak old age because their private sector pensions won't allow them to adequately exist when they stop working. The warning comes in a report from the UK's Independent Workplace Retirement Income Commission by the former Labour MP Lord McFall. Well, we'll speak to him in a moment, but first, Julia Caesar reports.
14 million workers are not saving into a workplace pension because they find them too difficult to understand and simply don't trust the fact they'll benefit from the scheme when they retire. The Pensions Commission has now called for lower charges, simpler pensions and a government cap on costs at 1.5% as part of wide-ranging proposals aimed at reinvigorating occupational saving.
The measures that have already been set in train to put people into a pension and to encourage them to engage with retirement will hopefully address this problem and improve the picture over the next few years. But the reality is, if we don't achieve that, then many people today, particularly those in their 30s and 40s, are going to find themselves having to carry on working through into their 70s simply because they won't be able to afford to retire.
Pensions experts say too many people are stuck in a complex, costly and inefficient system. The report says that people need to feel they get value for money when investing in a pension scheme, or they simply won't bother saving for their retirement. Instead, they'll spend today, ignore tomorrow and end up scraping by in their old age. The Department for Work and Pensions says ensuring the private pension sector is fit for purpose is a priority for the government.
It's time to grasp the nettle. That's why we're looking at state pension reform and bringing millions into workplace pension. But this is a long game. People who are in their 30s and 40s, it will be decades before they retire. And we need to get people saving much younger than in the past, because even a small amount of saving early in life builds up to a decent pension later in life.
Put simply, the report reinforces much of what we already know, that many of us are on course for a less than adequate retirement income because we're just not saving enough. Julia Caesar, BBC News.
Well, we can talk now to Lord McFall, who compiled this report. Lord McFall, this makes some pretty grim reading, doesn't it?
Yeah, actually it's meant to do so, because this is really a wake-up call for everyone. It's a wake-up call for consumers, saying to them, look, if you don't save, then you're going to face that impoverished retirement. It's a wake-up call for the industry, saying that you have to devise a trustworthy system which shares the risk, which is transparent and which is low cost. For example, if we take the management fees for companies down from 2%, which is a very, very common number at the moment, down to 1%, which is much achievable, then we could increase pension provision for people when they retire by 50%. And thirdly, it's a wake-up call for government to say that we're adding complexity to the system day and daily. Since 1995, we've had an average of one regulation every week. And we're saying to government, move over, get out of the way and ensure we have an independent commission in pensions so that we can look in a long-term future of 40, 50 years rather than a political timescale of 4 to 5 years.
Year after year, we've had warnings of problems. Who's been to blame for not putting the house in order earlier?
Well, I think there has been complacency, but we've had a much changed situation since Lord Turner produced his groundbreaking report on auto-enrolment in 2006. The world economy has crashed as a result of that. And what's happened is that we've seen a flight from what were termed defined benefit schemes, which are collective schemes where employers and employees got together, to schemes where the individual is in what they call a defined contribution scheme and is left on their own. And left on their own to make their way through a maze, which I say to you that a genius like Albert Einstein couldn't understand. It's really time for the industry to get its act together and make things simple for people and ensure that when people put a pound in, they know roughly what they're going to get out.
All right, well, thank you very much indeed for that.